crazy person or conservative fan? Theories spreads about Trump's mental state, yet Pence could be far more terrible. Notwithstanding how one feels about the strategies and political perspectives of Donald Trump, it has turned out to be progressively troublesome not to be worried by the president's whimsical and imprudent conduct. Regardless of whether one is Republican or Democrat, liberal or moderate, the president's mental state should stress each normal individual in America. A week ago Senator Corker of Tennessee, obviously one of only a handful couple of rational Republicans left in Washington, caught the general mindset when he reacted to the president's tweet storm from prior that day about Corker's choice not to look for re-decision. It's a disgrace the White House has turned into a grown-up day mind focus. Somebody clearly missed their work day at the beginning of today. In a meeting with the New York Times presently, Corker offered a rankling study of the president, saying that Trump was treating his office like a reality appear, and that his neglectful tweets could set the country on the way to World War III. He concerns me, Corker went on. He would need to concern any individual who thinks about our country. I know beyond all doubt that each and every day at the White House, it's a circumstance of endeavoring to contain him, Corker kept, illustrating the inexorably temperamental president, whose psychological wellness is currently a genuine reason for concern. A couple of days after Corker's meeting, Vanity Fair's Gabriel Sherman painted a much all the more frightening picture in an article recording the president's emotional episodes. As indicated by individuals near the president, who addressed Sherman confidentially, Trump is temperamental, losing a stage, and unwinding. As of late, Sherman states, I talked with about 6 unmistakable Republicans and Trump counselors, and they all portray a White House emergency as consultants battle to contain a president who is by all accounts progressively unfocused and devoured by dull dispositions. The failure of congressional Republicans to pass any real enactment, alongside Luther Strange's annihilation in the Alabama Republican Essential a month ago, has apparently pushed the president near the edge. Alabama was an immense hit to his mind, somebody near the president told Sherman. He saw the faction of identity was broken. The president's clear mental decrease has made the recently discharged book The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, in which 27 psychological well-being specialists get to Trump's mental express, more opportune. In a meeting with Salon's Andrew O'Hare a week ago, the book's supervisor, Dr. Bandy Lee, a scientific specialist at the Yale School of Medicine, cautioned that in the workplace of the administration, Trump represents a threat to people in general, and in actuality the global group. Evaluating risk is in reality more about the circumstance and not just about the individual, though a conclusion would be about the individual and remains with the individual, clarified Lee. So someone in particular might be unsafe in a specific position of energy and not hazardous in another circumstance. Lee and the book's 26 supporters contend that in his present position of energy, with his fingertips on the atomic codes, Donald Trump represents an incredible risk to the world, and that it is the good and metro obligation of emotional wellness experts to caution the American open. Obviously, individuals have been stating this much for as long as 2 years, and Trump's personality has for some time been a noteworthy region of concern. Be that as it may, this evaluation conveys more weight than anything that has preceded it, and affirms the famous estimation that Trump is exceptionally hazardous, and that anybody, including Vice President Mike Pence, is likely ideal in the White House. However, even as Trump seems to lose his hold on reality, it isn't all around acknowledged that Pence would be any better, and huge numbers of the president's fiercest pundits have communicated the conviction that Pence would be surprisingly more dreadful. He's ideological, I think of him as a radical, and I feel that as far as a considerable measure of household arrangement absolutely would be more regrettable than Trump, Senator Al Franken said in regards to Pence last June. In the Huffington Post, Jerry Bowles summed up the situation a year ago. Donald Trump may explode the world, however Mike Pence would set the clock back to 1954. The decision amongst Trump and Pence is at last a decision between a maniac and a steely-looked-at fan. While the previous flighty nature and dull inclinations could incite the sudden flare-up of World War III, his ineptitude has up to this point made him a standout amongst the most incapable presidents ever. Trump likewise does not have any unmistakable ideological feelings, and his neurotic requirement for command makes him exceptionally defenseless to adulation, which could continually convey him nearer to the inside, if, that is, he is exhorted by rational people. Pence, who obviously would move toward becoming president if Trump were expelled from office, as the Constitution manages, might not have the inconsistent demeanor of his manager and is probably not going to incite atomic war on Twitter. In any case, he is a significantly more dedicated ideologue than the president. The VP is a destructive homophobe and against fetus removal fanatic whose religious perspective shapes his governmental issues. Since he has both authoritative and official experience, having served 12 years in Congress and one term as legislative head of Indiana, there can be little uncertainty that a Pence organization would be substantially more taught in actualizing its reactionary motivation. In a current tell-all report by Jane Meyer of The New Yorker, two sources review a meeting in the White House talking about fetus removal and gay rights, in which President Trump seems to be the sensible one in the room. Amid a meeting with a legitimate researcher, Trump put down Pence's assurance to upset Roe v. Swim. The legitimate researcher had said that, if the Supreme Court did as such, many states would likely legitimize fetus removal all alone. You see? Trump asked Pence. You've squandered this time and vitality on it, and it won't end fetus removal in any case. When the discussion swung to gay rights, Trump motioned toward Pence and kidded, "Don't ask that person, he needs to hang them all." This account settles on it obvious that the decision amongst Trump and his VP is no decision by any stretch of the imagination, and that each is awful in his own specific manner. From an absolutely political viewpoint, Trump is in all likelihood the better choice. Be that as it may, this could change if the president keeps on spiraling wild. Over the long haul, Pence's enthusiasm may start to look desirable over Trump's franticness.